Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. club. It's Monday morning, it's a work day, I'm back at work, it's overcast, there's a bit of a breeze coming through, and there may be some showers all week. So it's been an inclement or an overcast, cloudy sort of summer this year, so not to matter, we'll do the best we can and try and get through summer and not complain about things in terms of the weather, just accept things for what they are. So what I want to do today is take you through a book summary that I did last night, and the book is entitled The Miracle Morning by an author named Hal Elrod. Hal Elrod wrote a book entitled The Miracle Morning. And I was just taking some notes last night, just bear with me, and I was going through my a new notebook, and I saw that my granddaughter has had a few attempts at doing her own 5 a.m. clubs by taking notes. So the first 5 or 6 pages of this notebook are dedicated to Annabelle, God bless her. But let's get on with it and go through this wonderful book and see where it'll lead us and see what we can learn. So the author kicks off the book with a powerful statement, and it's a life-changing sort of statement for those who are interested in thinking about it a little bit more deeply. And the thing that the author says is that the moment you accept total responsibility, let's say it again, the moment that you accept total responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you claim the power to change anything in your life. It's a real powerful statement. It's a real call for action, and it's a real wake-up call, and a great way, an absolute great way to start the week. The moment you accept total responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you claim the power to change anything in your life. So this author, Hal Elrod, then takes us on a journey. Let me just sort my notes out here because I played with them before, and that's better. So there's a six-step morning plan that the author introduces us to. And the first item on the list in this book is to try and not isolate incidences. Try and not isolate incidences. And it's a pitfall that a lot of people fall into, that they isolate things that happen to them without looking at them in perspective and looking at them holistically as part of an overall thing that is happening in their lives. So the author then invites us to look at events in our life as part of a bigger picture, and to be careful what you give yourself permission to do, as it will impact everything else in your life, because everything that we do is connected in one way, shape or form. And you've got to understand that things don't happen in isolation. As soon as you decide to do something, it will initiate and it will get the ball rolling, and it will get lots of levers moving and lots of cogs turning in your life that will impact not only what you immediately see, but there are also first, second and third level consequences with everything we do, say and think. So the author then talks about the fact that we need to step back and take a bigger look at the bigger picture for what's happening in our lives. Because if we're not careful and we're making exceptions all the time, we say we're going to do this, we say we're going to do that, We introduce some rules and some rules of thumb and some principles, and then all of a sudden we change it because it's an exception, and we change it again because there's another exception. What the author is suggesting here is that if you're not careful, your exceptions will become the norm, and before you know it, you find yourself in a sea of bad habits again. So we need to understand that when we decide to do things, we need to stick to those decisions and to do it. Do what we say, rather than try and find excuses as to why it shouldn't be the case. So that's the first point. The first point of this book is to not isolate incidences. The second item in this book is that we need to get a good night's sleep, even if it's just for 4 hours. So listen out on this one here, because it's an important one. Because the author says that even if you only sleep for 4 hours, and it doesn't matter how many hours you sleep, you need to tell yourself that it's enough. Because if you convince yourself that you haven't had enough sleep, regardless of how many hours you've slept, so it's the self-talk, it's the self-image, it's the stories that we tell ourselves. If you're telling yourself a story that you haven't had enough sleep, you will most certainly wake up groggy, tired and miserable. And we see it in the people around us who sometimes, with no fault of their own, because they don't know what they're doing and the harm that it's causing. But the stories that you tell yourself, or the stories that they tell themselves, is something that's going to impact them negatively and cause them issues. And that's why I have a little mantra that I kick off my day with, and I introduce everybody to in my 5 a.m. club, where I say, I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. Because that's part of me convincing myself that all is well and everything's great. And believe it or not, you say those things and you believe it. You believe it and you live it, and then you don't really need to spend hours and hours in bed to be refreshed, because you convince yourself that you've had enough sleep, and you get on with it. I've been sleeping between 4 and 6 hours for over 20 years, ever since my mother passed away. Before that I'd be sleeping 7 or 8 hours quite comfortably, but now that I'm in my 60s, in my early 60s, I understand that physically we don't need as much sleep, and personally I just want to do as much as I can in my life, to cram as much as I can in my day, to work as hard as I can, and to enjoy all the minutes, all the moments that I can throughout the day. So I convince myself that I've had enough sleep. It may catch up with me one day, but I'm willing to bet with anybody that it won't, because it's the mindset that I have and the type of person that I am. So the big lesson from this book, and the big lesson from this particular point in this book, is that you can create your own reality. And we do create our own realities. Your mind's power over the body is real, and very real. So it's up to you to use it and to make the most of it, rather than to make excuses as to why you're tired, or why you can't do this, or why you can't do that, and why everything appears to be an exception in your life, and why you don't give yourself permission to live the life that you deserve. So the author then moves us one step further and talks about a pre-morning routine that they've adopted, and it's something that helps them wake up and get out of bed faster. So the first thing is to set an alarm, but to have the alarm well away from the bed, because hitting the snooze button is not a good idea. Once the alarm goes off, or once you decide to get up, the trick is just to fling yourself out of bed and to immediately, and this is what I do, I say "Doxa tao Theo," glory to God. The moment that I just fling myself out of bed, I do my cross, I do my morning prayer, and I thank God for giving me yet another day to wake up to, and an opportunity to be my best and to do my best. But getting back to what the author says in his book, he says that once you're out of bed, the first thing you need to do is to have a glass of water to ignite your body, to let your body know that sleep has ended and your fast has ended, and you start your day with hydrating and doing something in terms of having water just to get things moving. The next thing the author talks about is the importance of brushing your teeth. Once again, to stimulate your mouth, to stimulate your teeth, to stimulate your gums, because that has some positive influences on your brain, and it once again helps you wake up, get up, and be alive and awake. And the third thing is to wash your face or have a shower. You know, I've been having morning showers ever since I was probably about, I guess, 12 or 13 years of age, when I reached adolescence, that I started having morning showers and enjoying that invigorating start to the day. So the final thing to summarise on and to go back to is to use your mind, use your brain, use your self-talk, the stories that you have, to help you live a better life, and to see negative events. You know, you can use your brain to change things. So instead of seeing the positive events as being isolated instances, what you may want to do is to shape your day by looking at negative things, negative events, as being isolated incidences, and not having it as a downer or something that'll flavour your day in a negative way. So thank you very much for joining me on Jim's 5am Club. It's my morning tea break, so instead of stuffing my face with calories, I thought I'd stuff my brain and my soul with some learning. So a wonderful book, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I hope you've taken some points out of there. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I'm well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and let's do whatever we can to live a better life by kicking our day off with on the right note, by accepting all the things that we have in our life, and by making the most of what we have, and understanding that the things that happen in our lives are all part of a bigger picture. They're all part of a bigger picture, and to look at that bigger picture and to give yourself permission to do whatever you can do in your life to enhance your life, because everything is connected in some way, shape or form. Anyway, they're just taking a bit of wind out of this tiger, because what they're saying is that there could be some high winds today, which suggests that they're going to take it down. So we've seen him with his head up, and we've seen him now resting. So to all the children out there, to my granddaughter, here is an example of this wonderful tiger taking a rest, and we all need to take a rest. But as the author from this book says, have enough rest to feel refreshed, but convince yourself once you get up that you've had enough rest. So thank you very much, and I look forward to coming to you again from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, a message that will help us get through the morning, get through the day, and to be the wind beneath our wings, where we can live, learn, and pass it on, and basically enjoy each other's company and be of nurturing investment to each other, to be partners in each other's growth and development. So thank you once again, and we'll chat again shortly. Yassas from Jim's 5am Club, and bye for now. Filakya. Take care.